Keep them doggies going. Rawhide.
Is it good?
Yeah. For some reason, I think you can double hit it. But
Oh.
anyway, it's going. All three are rolling. I like it the way it was before, though. A little bit showing both the lights. Doesn't matter, I guess, huh?
I kind of liked it before with the weird,
Yeah, I
the
liked
weird
it.
symmetrical.
How was that? What happened?
Alex taught me.
Oh, it's right here.
No.
So you know what? It's right here. Oh, wow.
Oh, it isn't. That's weird. It went from video to picture real fast.
Yeah, it didn't it?
Oops. That's okay though. This is still alright.
That's good right there, just showing you.
Do you have a picture of a Dalmatian?
No.
Okay.
It's It's SLEVER. Like clever with its S.
Do they hear that on camera? Surface.
All right, cut. Director needs a beer.
Hold on. Okay. Tony, look at me. You got one camera here. I'm actually going to move this a little bit.
Studios?
So, just give me your gun.
SLV. Hey, Alicia Silverstone was on. Let me follow her too.
What are we doing? We're rolling right now. Rolling.
And
All right.
Hold on. All right, there we go.
you ever see that great picture of Alicia Silverstone naked?
And nope.
Move the.
We're rolling. We're rolling. Everything.
Can you move the beer a little bit, like you maybe hold it like past the snacks to the right?
Am I right or you're
I
right?
think it's better.
Yeah, no, never mind. Go between. Yeah.
All right.
So when you drink, try to drop it back right in that same spot. If you do.
Probably.
Okay, rolling and
Airplane mode.
okay. Hey, look over here. Smile.
How do we?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Should we start with maybe like having him say his full name and
No,
like what he's
let's
done?
just go in. I think you want to say your name. You
Ladies and
can.
gentlemen of America.
No, that's why it's better.
Is it easier if you start here, or where do you
I
want to
lost
talk?
you. I
Where do you
lost
want to talk?
I mean, I'm probably going to be going.
Do you want to make? Are we going?
Pull out your the receptor. Pull up your receptor. There we go. Okay. The mic thing. Put it on the table if you don't mind. The bottom mic. The receptor of your microphone. The receptor.
The
of
weird,
your
like,
microphone.
The drum thing,
Not that. No, the other part.
the bottom part.
Just the bottom where. Yeah, there we go. All right. Technical.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, the bottom, the receptor. Where's the square part? Oh yeah, right there. Perfect.
Ah! Little
I
Hollywood
lost
magic
your
there.
signal for a second. That's it. Okay, let's do this before we already got 3 minutes in right now. And 3, 2.
Are we breaking fourth wall, or are we?
Yeah.
Or should I stand off to
I
the
don't know what
side?
the hell
Like, look at me?
breaking fourth wall means.
You're like, is he going to talk directly to one of the cameras, or should I be like over
Yeah,
here
I
and he
think
talks
so.
to me responding?
Do you want to talk directly?
I think
Talk directly.
Yeah, directly to the camera.
Talk to
I
this.
mean, I'll probably be
Are you
going.
sure? Yeah, I was gonna say. So then I'll stand here, so
Yeah,
that way
yeah.
it kind of looks the same,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a teleprompter.
Yeah.
Or do you want it to be like you're having a conversation with somebody else and we're just
That'll
watching?
look weird. That'll look weird.
Okay. So when you're doing this, if for some reason you don't see the record, let me know. It's
Okay.
gonna be a cut because I don't know how long it goes without stopping.
Gotcha.
I think it goes about 15 minutes. So.
I mean, we can. Yeah, we can cut the.
I'm just saying if you just see it, it's not recording. Okay. 3, 2, action.
Action.
Hey Tony, how's it going? Why don't you tell me about one of the weirdest chefs or menu items you've ever worked with?
Well, I guess it would probably be chefs or menu items, huh? You know, I have a pretty dim view of chefs in general. They're these people that like they only get it if you spell it out to them like A to B to C. You know, there's no real like wiggle room with them. Menu items. I gotta say, escargot is pretty fucking disgusting.
Would you say that that chefs don't necessarily understand the front of the house aspect?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, you know, they're you know, no disrespect to chefs at all. I mean, they're great. They're great people. They're artists. They're, you know, fucking awesome. But yeah, it's very cookie cutter. It's very like robotic. That's how they're. There's not a lot of room for improvisation.
Sounds like you've had a few beers, Tony.
What is it? Monday morning? 9 a.m.
Monday
Yeah.
morning. I think I'm blackout right now.
Deja vu.
What do you do when you? It's it's an obviously drunk customer that is coming in and.
It depends on the customer. I mean, is it a guy or a girl? What is it?
Heyo.
What is the weirdest allergy that you ever heard?
Dude, I mean, people, obviously, like air or water, people will say that they're allergic to that, but it's just like, the one predominant one is freaking, obviously gluten. And it's like, you're not allergic to gluten, you're just on some kind of fad diet, so that's ridiculous. You just want to click in with everybody else, and servers know that, and servers hate it.
Have you ever fucked a girl in the walk-in?
No.
I'm reading the questions. Yeah. How do you?
Well, you were off the questions there for a minute.
Well, I know, but I'm kind of like the whole point is like I think it should be
We're
like.
both involved. We're good.
Well, I know, but we should have a designated because now he's looking both ways. No?
That's good. We have 2-3 cameras. We're good.
True.
We should have another camera.
Yeah, we should.
How do you? What's your reaction going on the allergy? What's your reaction when somebody obviously isn't actually allergic? When somebody's like, I'm allergic to cilantro, and then they eat pico de gallo.
Dude, it's the most tedious thing. It's just, that it's just somebody playing a mind game. It's somebody that wants to portray themselves in a way that it's like, I'm this way. And it's like, no, you're not. It's not, people come in and they want to do these things. They want to play these little games with servers. And I have a big feeling they just do this in life, They get pulled over by a cop and they're like, the problem why I was going 65 and 25 is because, my wife is pregnant, she's at the hospital. There are cool people and there are not cool people. And when people are doing that, they're not cool people.
I'm sorry, officer, the gluten made my foot heavy.
Yeah.
What's the craziest story about a coworker that you have?
This guy years ago, this guy that I used to work with, just fed up, just over this place, just done with this place. Gets hammered before work, just gets loaded before work. Falling down drunk, literally, and it's a AM shift, so it's a lunch shift. Comes in, we didn't really get it. Like everybody knew that he was over the place, he was done with the place. But I don't know. I certainly didn't know that he was this wasted when he comes in. Loads up. He's going to the host. Seat me, seat me, seat me, seat me. Loads up his section. Goes to all of his tables. Starts the order hello, welcome, yada yada yada, the whole nine. Takes I think he just took drink orders for everybody, and then bolts just out. He's done. So now it's now the other servers but mostly the manager has to go each of these tables and be like, yeah, I'm so sorry, but your server quit. He just walked out. What were you having? What drinks were you having? And it's just it was a bad day. It was a bad day that day. That was funny.
Let's go to the wedding one that he talked about. I think it's,
So the proposal one?
Yeah, I think we should go to that.
With the guy that did who wanted to do the wedding ring?
Try to, yeah.
I think
it's a really great story.
It's a good story. Try to improvise as much as you can. But
I will say when you're doing this, try not to stare directly at the camera. Try to actually look at me.
Oh, okay.
That way it's a little off, but it's still
or you can even look like you're just thinking,
Yeah, because it's a little strange if it's interview style. Just try to because I'm close.
Too intense, Alex?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
And let me know if it helps you if I stand over here, but even slight subtle differences. That's the only thing I'm picking up. You actually look really good. If you're you know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
Fucking sexy, dude. I stick my dick in your mouth.
But yeah, try to even though
I just filmed that too.
even though I'm not looking at you, try to actually
Got it.
That way it looks a little bit different. So do you have any stories about proposals?
I used to work at this place that was famous for it was the place to propose. You would go
If you want to say the name, we can. We'll just edit it out.
All right.
and then you can still do all that, so you can still set a background just in case they don't know where it is.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's funny to say the name and then go beep.
Yeah. All right. When I used to work at the Castaway years ago, that's like the place where I would always wonder, like, when the girl hears that the guy made reservations at Castaway, it's like, oh, proposal time, you know. So I'd been through a few of them where, you know, somebody would be like, I'm proposing to my girl. Usually, like 9 times out of 10, went off without a hitch. These guys almost always like include the server, include the host. They want to talk to somebody. They want to like let everybody know what's going on. But one time, this guy was a little clueless as to like, you know, how he was gonna do it. He's like, I'm gonna propose to my girl tonight. I'm like, great, this is the right place to do it. And he's like, what I think would be a good idea is to I'm gonna stick the ring in the bread, in the complimentary bread, like when it comes out. And I was like, dude, like, I don't know, that's such a great idea. First of all, I mean, it's the top of the meal, like it's the beginning of the meal. And secondly, like, what if she like takes a chunk of that bread and like eats the ring? And he's like, yeah, that's a good point, yeah. And I'm like, what a lot of people do, and if you don't mind your suggestion, either a glass of champagne, classic, or maybe even like the chocolate mousse at dessert. And he looks at me like I invented water. Like he's just like, wow, man, like that's a great idea. And I'm just like, dude, like literally everybody does this. Like this is like something that like is not, you know, not rocket science. Just don't stick it in the fucking complimentary bread as it comes to the table when she sits down. Like let her ingest everything. Let her like take everything in first. So.
Do you think that marriage lasted?
I have no idea, man. The guy seemed pretty clueless, so you know.
So yes.
Yeah, probably.
So I think when you ask the questions, you answer them like your answer, like the question is being like, did that marriage last? Does that make sense? Because we're not going to use him.
Sure.
We'll probably put a graphic.
We're not going to use the question, and it'd be nice not to put the words all the time, you know. So you can just. So let's say anyway.
I think
I'm just saying, moving forward, like.
In situations like that,
Sometimes
little
you
follow-up
kind of
questions would probably be good to just put a graphic and be like, do you think that lasted? And you'd be like, no,
Nope.
no.
That was a marriage. You could say, well, did it last? I don't know. That's how you would answer it. So we don't have to say, did it last? Because you said, I don't think it last. Then you say, did it last? That, you know, or
Oh yeah, so repeat what I'm saying.
Kind of, yeah.
When I say, so did
That's
it
what I'm
last?
saying.
So then be like, did it last? I don't know.
That's
Like
what
when
I'm
you-
saying.
like-
'Cause we're
like
not
when
going to
you-
use the question. It would be nice not to throw the question all the time out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like when you hear the NFL and like you don't hear the question from the
Yeah,
reporter,
exactly.
but you hear the coach
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
yeah, so we did 49-0 this year, so we're doing pretty good. Like, you have
Yeah.
no idea
So
like, what
let's
the fucking
ask.
question was.
So let's ask that question again, and you answer. Did it last? I think it's good for
Yeah.
for print.
So do you think that marriage lasted?
Action.
So do you think that marriage lasted?
Do I think the marriage lasted? Probably not. No. Fucking clueless moron.
Yeah.
Can't figure out where to put like bread. A ring and bread? No.
No. One thing that we talked about, I wanted to say that I noticed a little bit here. We talked about we didn't want to make it a complaining negative.
Yeah, that's the
It's
biggest
a little
thing.
bit. We're going
That's
a
the
little
biggest
bit.
thing.
I noticed a little bit of that going. So rephrase that, and you don't say, "Did I think it lasted?" You say, "Did it last?" Who knows? I mean,
Yeah. Did it last?
Alright.
I don't think so. But
Not
I'm also
like this
single.
fucking
like,
moron.
Shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Did it last? I'm not sure.
That's what. So you're like saying you tell the
Yeah.
story, and then you say, "Did it last? Did the marriage last?"
I wouldn't have married the guy, but I'm also single, so
or whatever.
Shit like that.
So let's take another take or two on that because I think this is a good story that we could use. Did it last?
Did it last? You know, I'm not sure. I mean, the guy wanted to put his ring in bread. Who knows? Who knows what other things he probably wasn't putting in the right way.
My biggest problem is listening to these stories. It's so hard, and I know this is a personal issue.
Let's try it again.
It's so hard for me to shut the
this.
fuck up because I'm like, I have a joke.
You have
there.
to hold it. Yeah.
Like, God forbid she has a gluten allergy eventually.
Let's try it.
You know what I mean?
Let's try it again. And we say, did the marriage last? Because we don't know, did it last? We're not sure you're talking about the marriage. So we say, you could say, do I think the marriage lasts? You know, like you're pondering the thing, and you go with what you said there, and then both me and you have to stop from laughing as much as we possibly can. Otherwise, it's not natural.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So,
I'm just gonna start wearing turtlenecks.
So just say, do I think the marriage lasts? Or whatever. And 3, 2, 1.
Do I think the marriage lasted? Huh? I don't know. The guy wanted to stick the ring in the bread, so who knows what else? Who knows what other things he was trying to do wrong? Hopefully, sure, yeah. He had the best intentions. You know, he was trying. He was trying, but do I think it lasted? Next question.
That's good. I like that. That's a good ending.
What is the most heartfelt story that you've experienced, sir?
Oh man. It was like a 12 top. It was a big table, and this guy, it was for him. It was like his birthday, or he had just gotten a new job or something. This guy was big. He was a big fella. He was like orca, big. And from the minute he sat down, he was just sweating. He was just like, just buckets of sweat. You know, and they're multiple courses in. They're having drinks. They're having bottles of wine, and everybody that was at the table was there for him. Like you could tell the love for this guy was just immense. And midway through, I don't even think entrees came out. Dude has a heart attack. Guy has a heart attack at the table. He's trying to like compose himself, but like it's obvious that it's coming, right? Because just, you know, and sweat and everything. You know, a lot of people would try and like make a big deal out of this. They would try and, you know, get a free meal at the very least, but like we call, you know, obviously we call 911. Like we're not, you know, we're waiters, we're not doctors. We're not gonna fucking try and like fix this guy. We can't take it back to the kitchen and like cook it a little longer. So we call 911. You know, they come and they wheel this guy out through the back of the house, through the kitchen, and he paid. Not only did he pay his tab, but left like well over 20%. He was literally making sure that this got done before he left the restaurant. And my biggest thing, I felt so bad. I didn't even ask, like, what hospital are you going to? It was the only time in my life where, like, I wanted to reach out. I wanted to be like, I wanted to go buy this guy some flowers. He left me like a $200 tip after, like, keeling over and having a heart attack at the fucking table. Didn't even get his main course. So, that guy is an angel. He's a gem. He's a precious, like, seriously, like, I can't believe that happened.
I'm sorry, dude. Yeah. That fucking shit is funny. I'm glad you got the whole story out there.
That was epic.
I never heard that one before, actually. I heard something like that, but I didn't hear that version, I don't think.
It was that Castaway restaurant.
What about, he's okay? My next
Yeah.
question? I'm just going off the cuss. We talked before about sharing a bathroom with the customer. You ever have that? You don't have that? If you don't have it, I'll take that one.
I've never had it actually, but I've seen
you
it.
Never come out the shitter and there's the
It was
customer right there. Lean up a little bit because of your shadow.
It was the one time where I was at Volcano, actually, the original one in Pasadena.
I think it's better not to name names too.
Well, I like the idea of beeping it because I think that's kind of funny.
Oh, okay.
It was at the original one in Pasadena.
But
it's like you're swearing, but like you'll hear fuck.
But we can
shit,
do
whatever.
But also, you can say the name, but then after that, kind of repeat what you said without the place. Does that make sense? So we have both, so we don't
Just in
have
case.
to beep it. So we can just get into a story about some place you worked at.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Volcano. I mean, unless it's the fucking montage or.
It was at the Cheesecake
I
Factory
mean,
in
if
Agora
it's a-
Hills.
No,
Uh,
yeah.
Exactly.
I've
Sean
heard, I've
was
heard
really
that every,
Actually, that's pretty funny. But in general, I don't
think
know
every-
this Casta thing you were talking about. I have no idea.
you can reference it as much as you want. You can say it. If you say the name, we'll edit it, so it's okay. But detail about the restaurant is better than
I'm just
I
telling
think-
you,
I
if
think
you
for the
want to
three
say
of
the
us-
restaurant, you say the restaurant. But then when you start going your story, start like it could be anywhere. Is all I'm saying.
For
Because
the
we don't
three of
have to
us, this
fucking
is
beep
great. But in the
everything. It
future,
kinda
it's
sucks.
gotta be organic. If we're ever interviewing somebody that doesn't know us,
Well, I'm
then
trying
we've
to
got to
tell you
keep
now.
it. We've got. I know, but for somebody like
I think it's okay to mention restaurants and names. Just know they're going to be edited. So
Yeah.
with that knowledge, expand on what the place is. Be like, I was working at this place called Castaway, and then we'll beep that. Be
because
like,
if it's
that's,
somebody telling their story,
and then say that. But I know, but elaborate more. So like, I worked at this restaurant called. Beep.
yeah,
That's the kind of restaurant where
The
they have
Asian
seafood. It's amazing, Asian, whatever. Like it was this awesome Asian restaurant that was in Santa Monica. So that way, so it's gonna be edited. So keeping that in mind, say the name, but also tell what it was. Like if I say I worked at a place in South Florida called Rocco's Tacos, you're like, okay, it was a really high-end Mexican restaurant. There's no Mexican restaurant in South Florida, so everybody loved going there. So I can edit that, and then
It's a
everybody hears it.
shithole
So-
for
yeah.
California, but it's
So
great
again,
to there.
for people,
Exactly.
So for people in the future, so say the name, which will be bleeped,
And
but
then
then kind of
describe
describe the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're also
Okay.
like
So my
like I said,
question-
it's also
my-
content.
My
yeah.
request was, just to get back, the
Yeah.
request was you want to name the place that's cool, but after you name the place, then kind of start to
Describe it.
describe it so I could just leave out the name of the place if I wanted to, because I don't always want to put a censorship over. I'm just saying
Yeah.
we need to have both versions in editing. We need to have choice.
Yeah.
You can't have always, well, I'm always beeping someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
That's
makes
all
sense.
I'm
Yeah.
saying in that point.
So when people get sat down and interviewed, we'll tell them try not to mention the place. If you do mention the place, make sure you still describe
Follow
it
up.
because you can't like if Brian were sitting in your spot, he can't be like, dude, it's Spago. Like no.
we got
Like I worked for a celebrity chef in West Hollywood, and it was like
Well, it was a modern American cuisine.
Okay, we're rolling
which was-
still, so let's get to the next question.
What was it? What was the question?
I
gotcha.
don't know what it is, whatever it is. I was just saying, like, in that
So I've
instant-
never been in the situation where I've had to use the same toilet as the guest. However, one time at this Asian place in Pasadena, bleep.
Come on, do it again, because you don't have to
Yeah.
say bleep.
Can you edit that out?
We just do it again.
This is random. We're gonna.
I've never actually had to use the same restroom as the guests, but one time at this Asian joint in Pasadena, it took us forever to get greeted by the server, and I realized that when I got up to go use the restroom because I was waiting for him for so fucking long, he comes walking out of the toilet and he just took a gigantic dump, and I was just like, "Fuck, this guy's gonna be our waiter now." Cool, awesome.
I like that. We
what-
have some
what-
questions about
what-
when he goes out.
What if he was just preparing your food?
What if it was
Because
the,
the
Even better.
because the food's shit.
let's go to maybe some questions about him being a customer. A little further down, he had something.
I was gonna ask because he wanted to do the
Okay,
internet
go
one.
ahead.
I was gonna say the
Yeah, whatever you want.
Stick
how
to
do you-
that. Stick to that. Stick to what's on there.
how
That's
do you-
all, that's all of our stuff.
well, this is it's a
we
little different.
haven't
But it's,
stick to it. Too.
we've been pretty close.
Have we?
I've been going off
Where's
this.
the copy? Can I see it?
You want
Yeah,
it? I got
I've
it.
been going off this.
I got it.
Okay,
I got
'cause
it.
I'm not sure.
You got it.
I've been going off these possible questions.
Where are we at right now?
They're good. Well, I jumped around a little bit. We did coworker, we did weirdest chef, we did heartfelt, epic quitting story. We haven't done server pet peeves, haven't done trick of the trade.
Well, he doesn't
Favorite or-
bartend, so that doesn't apply.
Well, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's.
Oh,
Kinda,
I'm just trying to figure out where we're at. So
I was only going off these. I could go farther into this, but
I was thinking we got about
I-
45
These chips
minutes
gotta
left. So I'm trying to think of where we can go. Damn, there's.
that's what I'm saying. Once we're actually
Oh,
filming, it's
is
a
that
pretty
it?
fast.
Just the one page?
Well, there's more questions along here. See, like I was gonna ask him. I was gonna ask him how he thought.
Okay,
the,
cool.
I was gonna ask him how he thought the internet affected the restaurant industry, because I feel like that's a good one because that kind of falls into the well online, and it also falls into Yelp, and it also falls into like it's a good vague question that he can rant about.
Oh, you got Barbara Streisand in there. You're thinking of me. I didn't read it. Sorry, I was setting up. So. All right, hey.
Classic director.
More than that, usually directors like to fucking control freak. But I don't like to shoot anything unless it's worth a fuck. And I think this one went out.
Call me crazy, but
Is
tell
that
me.
one still recording? It went out. See when it blacked out? Then you have to let me know. Then we have to
It
reset.
only just went.
Yeah, I know. I believe you. Mine went out too. So I guess the Sony.
Because I talked to him, but I'm actually
So
staring.
I
at
think
these.
it has a 22-minute until it resets.
Probably.
Well, let's look. I can look over here and I can see this.
We'll make it like The Simpsons. I never touched that girl. Just like weird cuts. You're like wearing different hats. He's probably the best butler I've ever had.
At the beach,
Yeah.
in the office.
What do you think about the service industry? It's the best job I've ever had. I love the people.
Talkie talk.
Ken Brockman here. Who are you and where are you going?
Trust me, this will be the audio that we use, and we'll probably go back to
Arnie Pie in the sky here.
rolling. This is still rolling.
Coming back.
Rolling. Alright, cool.
So how would you say the internet affects the restaurant industry?
I mean, overall, like, probably great, you know? It's like, you can make your reservations online, you can do, you know, whatever you need to do. You can look at the menu, you can check out, like, what kind of specials are going on, things like that. But it's also kind of a catch-22, you know? Because it's like, it's the worst thing when you have one of these, like, diva chefs that are like, oh, well, I've procured, a Chilean sea bass, and then you know you gotta go to the table and you gotta do this whole like song and dance rigmarole, and it doesn't quite, because obviously we're not gonna like change what's on the website, you know, day to day, hour to hour, which chefs do. Chefs, you know, they like to mix it up. They like to have things fresh. So then there's like inevitably some like, you know, 65-year-old woman that comes in, well, I was looking at your website the other day, and your website says, it's like, look, lady, I know what the website says, okay? Just, we're doing something a little different tonight, okay? You say, well, but, okay, but yeah, okay. Tonight, because it's like a seasonal menu, this is what we're doing. Well, but the website, yes! The website, I get it. I get the website, but I'm telling you, here tonight, in person, live, this is what we're doing. Okay, well, I guess I'll just have to deal with that. Yeah, just fucking deal with it.
What goes through your mind when you're serving at a really nice restaurant and you think about the fact that Yelp exists?
Fuck Yelp. Honestly, like, fuck Yelp. These people just want. I mean, you get positive Yelp. Like, people are positive on Yelp, and it's good. It's a good thing. You know, I used to date a girl that she would only go to like, you know, no less than like 4.5 stars. Like, she's just like 5 stars. Just that it's gotta have the 5-star Yelp review, or we're not. Like, fuck A's. Like that used to do it for me. Got an A on the window, must be good, right? No, it's got to have the 5-star like Yelp review.
Have you ever been yelped?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
One time I got yelped.
I don't read those things.
I'd be like, have I ever been yelped? Yeah.
Or you could say, oh, I think I read some Yelp about me once or something. Or
There was this one really great Yelp review where the wife said that she wanted to go home with me, and the husband was like, how dare you? This is fake. This is not real. I didn't do that.
I was just trying to throw out some kind of way you could say the Yelp thing without actually,
I don't have enough experience with it. I've been yelped.
Open table? What open table?
No, I've been mentioned by name on Yelp a bunch of times, but it's always just the scallops were great. So was Tony. And then, okay, cool, great. Thanks.
Say that again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Say that again.
I've been yelped a bunch of times, but it's never been too in depth. It's always like the scallops were great. So was Tony. You know, it doesn't. It's not. It's not.
One
really
more
like,
time.
One more
Sorry,
time.
Dave. You're gonna hear that. Okay. I've been missing Yelp.
I've been mentioned on Yelp a bunch of times, but it's never too in depth. It's like, the scallops were great, and so was Tony. So whatever, it's like great, cool, awesome. I'm gonna get a raise out of that.
If we do nothing else today, that
That
alone,
was the
that
fucking
alone,
one.
that alone, that
Your
little.
proposal was the one about where you stuck it in. That was pretty good too. Hey, you stuck the thing in the bread anywhere else. You stuck it in.
Dude, this idiot, that guy was such a moron. I gotta. Can we take?
Was the chick hot as fuck?
Can we take 3? No, she
You want
was.
to take a break?
Absolutely. 2 minutes pee, and then I'm gonna
No problem.
get a refill.
Just leave everything on the table. Exactly. Perfect.